Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in-Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio.
On your hometown station, FM 98.1, AM 1220. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And we have two guests today. The first one is Olita Igar, and she is from the Senior Center.
Yes.
And you will be talking about a supporting grandparents group?
Yes, there's actually two groups. There's the supporting grandparents and relative caregivers, and also the family caregiver support program.
Oh, that's interesting. So which one are we talking about today, or are we talking about both of them?
We're kind of talking about both of them because they sort of go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Grandparent hand in hand.
Yes.
Grandparents group. And what was the other one?
And the other is the family caregiver support group program.
Family caregiver
support program. Yes.
Support program.
So Olita, are these both, one is helping seniors and the other are seniors helping others?
Well, the difference between the two is what I think you're asking me
Yes.
about. And the difference primarily is that supporting grandparents and relative caregivers is a specific program for grandparents or other relatives that are taking care of another relative's child. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to figure out what to do next. They're trying to decide, do they want to adopt this child? Do they want to be a foster parent? Do they need to go through Children and Family Services to do all of this? And really just to get the support from other people that have already gone down that road for them.
So those seniors who are listening right now, they might have grandkids, but their kids are working. The parents of those grandkids are working, they're busy, they're occupied, and sometimes they're in trouble. But whatever the situation is, the grandparents now have to assume a new role, a new arena, that who would be used to doing that when you've raised your children and now you have to be responsible for children again. It's a difficult task.
You aren't kidding, because the children that you had plus the grandchildren you now have are completely different, in a completely different social setting. Mm-hmm. Everything is, the ways of bringing children up have changed.
Yes, absolutely. And at a certain age,
that's a challenge.
It's a very big challenge. And after a certain age, we get to a point where we think we were done raising children.
No more.
They're out of the house, they're gone. We can, retire and go on with our lives and do all these things we've wanted to do all these years. And now we're, lovingly and caringly raising either our grandchildren, or maybe it's a sister's child or brother's child,
or great-grandchildren.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's a very tough challenge.
Yes, it is, and especially because the children have a different outlook on you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're not my mom.
Right, and they come in with their own set of expectations, and I don't know if baggage is the right word. It may not be exactly, but they have a lot of things that have been put on them as well coming into the situation.
That's very, very true. And I think now with my great-grandchildren, I'm thinking, holy cow, I couldn't do that again. Yeah, and I have one great-grandson who is a mirror image of my deceased son, who was absolutely hyperactive. He would bounce off the walls, literally. Mm-hmm. And I have a great-grandson like that now.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's a challenge.
And just to have the energy to keep up with that is enormous. I can't imagine.
It really is. And then I have 3 other great-grandchildren who are mellow. They're quiet, but they're busy, but they're not the rambunctious. Woohoo! Let's go,
Right.
that kind of child.
Right.
It's very interesting.
And even that brings its own set of challenges too,
Yes.
because you don't
Yes,
know
it
how
does.
exactly to coax them into conversation, or to know what their needs are, or because if they're shy and introverted, they're keeping a lot of that stuff pent up inside and not
That's-
sharing that with anybody. So that's a
very
tough
true.
one.
So
Plus-
so Robin and I had to babysit our nephew's kids. At that time, he was about 3 years old, and the technology that he already knew. Now we're talking about 7 years ago, okay?
Right.
And so my nephew and they showed us what he stories and things, but it wasn't like reading them books and keeping them occupied. There was a pad there and the iPad, and we didn't know really how to use it because we hadn't used one at that time. But here we're going, we probably need to use this iPad now. We didn't know how to do it. The 3-year-old showed us how to use it.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, because that's one of the bigger challenges that all of us have, is trying to keep up with technology. And you're right, the 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds know how to do this stuff
Already.
that we didn't have when we were growing up, and we didn't have when we were raising children, and now all the little kids are really accustomed to it and know what to do.
So
And they know how to move around on the computer.
Oh yes.
And that's one of the hardest things I've had to do. Plus the cell phone. Oh, good heavens.
Yeah, we call it navigating.
Navigate.
Moving around is a good term, but
They-
navigating
oh
is.
my goodness.
So the
Come
senior
here,
center.
Nanny. This is the way to do it. That's not the correct way. You can get here quicker if you go this way. I'm thinking, okay.
But the challenges are there. We understand that. But the senior center has available is it a support group or a meeting where
There is-
grandparents can come and even bring their kids, grandkids, and try to figure out how to negotiate this and navigate this.
Yes.
To try to make sure everybody is mentally and physically stable.
Yes, absolutely. There is a group that meets on Thursday that is a supporting grandparents and relative caregivers group, and there are several grandparents that are in this group that are taking care of children, and they're in various stages of the process of it. Some people have gone through the entire court system. They know how to navigate those, ins and outs of dealing with courts. There are people that are just getting started, with the process. There are people that just all sorts of different levels of it. So there is a group there. We have a group in the Antelope Valley that has started. We are trying to form some other groups in other parts of LA County. The county's done a real interesting thing, is that they've given us a contract for what they're calling super regions. So we're covering
What is a super
a super region. We're covering areas of Los Angeles County that you would not associate with Santa Clarita Valley. Places like Agora Hills and Calabasas and westward to the county line.
Whoa.
I have a family caregiver support group that started in Topanga last month, the city of Topanga. And we have locations in Glendale and Burbank as well. So we're kind of all over the map.
Well, now, do you go to these various support groups to
Yes.
instruct them and that kind of thing?
Yes.
Gee,
Yes.
you're on the road 24/7, aren't you? Practically.
Not quite 24/7, but sometimes it feels that way.
So, where did this originate? Did it originate here at our senior center? These programs?
To my knowledge, we've had some kind of, support groups and ongoing groups of some kind for a long time. But this particular entity of it is relatively new. It's relatively new for us. So a lot of these groups that we're talking about have just started, and they're just in the making and just kind of being promoted and advertised and that sort of thing. So the best thing I would advise people, if they're interested in this kind of thing, is to give the Senior Center a call, and then we can talk with them about, where the groups are located and what would be best for them.
And that number is 661-259-9444.
Yes. Thank you.
That number is permanently in my mind.
But, the support group itself, in the past, we always used to empathize with parents who were the sandwich generation, taking care of their parents, but also taking care of their children. But we're realizing that there has been a greater and greater need for grandparents to play a role.
Yes.
And, there was an article in our local newspaper that talked about presidency and how old a president should be. And some of those who might be running for president are older. And they're saying maybe they shouldn't be president. But to me, that's age discrimination. And older individuals in our society still function. They still drive. They still participate. They still work. And one of the functions can be taking care of their grandkids and maybe great-grandkids. We just can't put that so far out of the realm that that's not going to happen. But because it is happening, we've had to say, okay, there are ways of doing this, and let's eliminate the frustration and get a support group together and talk about it.
That's right. And you're absolutely right, is that, people are living longer, people are living longer well, and they're doing things that, again, you would not expect to be doing when you're, 60 or 70 or even 80, in taking care of a grandchild or great-grandchild. The groups that I'm particularly involved in are exactly what you're saying with the sandwich generation. Maybe a child that's taking care of a parent or parents, and also taking care of their children, or taking care of a neighbor, or, their caregiver. And many times it's the caregivers that burn out, it's the caregivers that get sick and wind up in the hospital, and because they're not taking care of themselves while they're taking care of somebody else. And that's a really important issue, and it's an important thing for caregivers to get, because even when you go on a plane, you're riding on a plane somewhere, when the attendants talk about the flight rules and the different things that are going on the airplane, they always tell you to take that oxygen mask and to put that oxygen on yourself first before you give it to your child or you give it to your loved one. It's the same kind of concept with taking care of yourself as a caregiver.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It
And
is.
grandparents need to know this too, in taking care of their children, children's children, that they need to take care of themselves in the process. They need to still take their medicines the way they're supposed to. They still need to take care of getting to the doctors when they need to go. And just, being kind of easy with yourself.
So when they go to the support group on Thursdays, at that support group are individuals who are in the predicament, trying to work their way through it, trying to find answers, and others who already know the answers and are going to help them navigate through the whole ordeal.
Right. Right.
So what time does it meet over there on Thursdays? Do you know offhand?
I believe it's 10 o'clock.
In the morning, okay.
Yes, it is a morning group.
Now, for instance, I run, and one of my friends who has run for years, I ran by his place, and he was just getting out of his car in the garage, and I said, "Hey, I haven't seen you running," and he said, I didn't notice, but he had a baby carriage thing in his hand, and he lifted, and he said, we're
busy
taking-
right now.
We're busy
taking- yes.
Monday through Friday, 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
So if he's listening to the show, but he's just coping with the situation, or can you bring the baby carriage in as well to the senior center, just so they can get the information yet still do their duty taking care of the kids.
Right.
That's okay. I mean, we're not keeping them out of the senior center.
Well, no, we don't
'cause
want to
they're
turn
not
anybody.
seniors.
We don't want to turn anybody away.
So, because it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and most of those seniors who are now caregivers, they have an ongoing responsibility.
Right.
But listening to the show, they want to be able to get some good advice and be there somehow, some way.
Right.
So for those who don't know, it's on Market Street near Hart Park, and it's a great place. We are moving in the next few weeks, so we'll let you know about that change. But for the time being, on Thursday, Olita, that this is a place to go to help prevent that caregiver burnout that we don't want to happen, because it jeopardizes how those grandkids are going to do.
Right.
Now,
right.
do you have both groups at the same time? Or is
Um,
this 10 a.m. the grandparents group?
The grandparents group is actually run by my coworker Linda Davies.
Oh, Linda, yes. And when is
She
that?
actually got called away with a few grandparents that wanted to meet up in the Antelope Valley today, so that's where she is.
So when does that group normally
And-
occur?
The Antelope Valley group,
No, the one here.
the one
that Linda
here,
has.
that's Thursdays. I believe it's at 10 o'clock.
And
The best
The
thing to do is to
family-
call. The best thing to do is to call the center and ask for Linda, or ask for supportive services, and someone should be able to tell them
well,
for
what
sure.
about
But I believe it's 10 o'clock.
what about the family caregiver support group?
Right now, I have one in the city of Topanga. That's Friday from 2 to 3.
But nothing up here?
Nothing here yet. Now we're working on that. Now there is. I want to say there is a group, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on when that date is actually for that group. I'm sorry.
Things are now changing. We're all moving. So,
It-
and by the end of this month, we'll be in a new facility, a brand here in Santa Clarita that we've waited for years and years and years. But the functions will still be there.
Yes.
And we'll just have to figure out the timing and the logistics of it. So, some of the information now at the end of the month may have changed. So you just have to be aware. But you can call 259-9444 and get that information for the ongoing times right now. And when we change, then everything will be moved over to the new facility.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the bison won't be able to move.
I know.
That is
I
so
know.
sad.
I'm going to miss the bison.
Oh, I know you are, because, I mean, they come down.
They do.
Oh, I know. I've seen them.
Now,
Many times.
there are some people listening right now and saying, what
What
the heck
are they
talking
talking about?
But if you go to the senior center and go to the back parking lot and look up the hill,
That's
you will
right.
see a herd of buffalo that have been there for decades and decades. And
That's
it's
right.
very, in the evening time, 6 or 7 o'clock, they might be resting. Morning time, they're usually out feeding. But it's it's so unique.
It's
what
very
you
surreal
guys have
looking,
brought
but-
up.
And you also see deer there.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
there's
And
quite a few up in there.
groundhogs.
Oh,
We've
yes.
seen lots of
Owls.
groundhogs.
Oh,
and-
It's amazing. That's the one area that will be missed greatly.
Absolutely.
I know it will.
It will be. And,
Oh,
and
yes.
we've all said that we're going to miss the closeness to nature and the greenery that surrounds us.
That's right, because there's no greenery up there now.
It doesn't sound like it.
Nope, there isn't. Looks like nothing but brown in the background over there.
Oh.
Yes. Have you been over to the?
Not
the,
yet. I'm going to take a peek on Wednesday when we have the open house at the new place. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be very interesting. But the poor they're going to miss you guys. You know.
We'll go over and
'Cause
visit.
I've seen seniors out there in the parking lots, looking at the bison and the buffalo and the deer, because that's something that's very enjoyable. And
Yes.
it is a shame, because it's And do you know what's going to happen to the current senior center? Is that building being torn down?
I have not heard anyone say precisely what's going to happen, but what I have heard is that the county, it belongs to the county, so the county will take it back over. We don't know if it's going to be part of the William S. Hart Park or what they're going to do with that.
It's a shame that they couldn't still operate some sections for the senior center there.
Yeah.
Because there are so many seniors living here, around here.
Yes.
That are going to have to travel miles to get to the new senior center, which to me is ludicrous.
Yeah, that would be something you need to talk with our executive director about. Yeah, I'm not sure what the plans are for the building.
It's really a shame because it could be utilized for the seniors who live around here. At least for the pool tables, And
it's a very active center.
I know
if the listeners are not familiar with the Santa Clarita Valley Senior Center, there are a lot of activities there at that center. They do have congregate meals. We have a home delivered meals program as well, and all kinds of classes
and teaching. Camaraderie.
Absolutely. Exercise classes.
And pool. Not a swimming pool, but pool. It's fun. Queue up.
Yes.
Yeah. Literally.
And I think we need to say goodbye, Olita.
All right.
It's been a very interesting conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
very supportive.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
and I
you.
hope you'll come back and visit us again.
I hope so. I'd like that. Thank you very
That's
much for having me here today.
Terrific. We take that break now on your hometown station, FM 98.1 and AM 1220.
Marinated strips of steak grilled to perfection with onions, peppers, jack and cheddar cheese, ranchero sauce. Mouth-watering yet? I thought it would. I could keep going, but I won't tease you like that. I'll just tell you where to go. Cabo Cabana and Stevenson Ranch, where fresh is just the beginning. Delicious tacos, burritos, enchiladas, tostadas, Baja Authentic style Mexican food that you just won't be able to resist. What more could you ask for? Cabo Cabana on the old road in Stevenson Ranch.
Having solar installed probably isn't what you think.
Emily Winchester, part of the Santa Clarita family at HomeLink Solar.
Our friendly team members work for a big solar company. We took our expertise and created a local company that makes sense for Santa Clarita.
HomeLink Solar can reduce your energy expenses now with a free consultation. Visit HomeLinkPros.com. Discover how you can save with solar without the big expense. HomeLink Solar, your home better, your life better.
We're your neighbors.
College of the Canyon short-term classes begin in April and finish in May. Learn a new skill such as photography or career and life planning. Pick up a quick transferable class such as political science or math. Too busy? Take an online class. Textbooks too expensive? Search our class schedule for OER classes which don't require you to buy textbooks. Need to take a class this summer? Our summer schedule is already online. Visit canyons.edu/class schedule now.
Mission Valley Bank is a commercial bank in the Santa Clarita Valley that really puts the community into community banking.
At Mission Valley Bank, we strive to be a trusted advisor to our clients, and that means being an integral part of the communities we serve. We started the Give Where You Live program to help bring awareness to our nonprofit partners. We're more than just a local business bank. In fact, we're a full-service, independent commercial bank that is locally owned, community-minded, and relationship-driven. I'm Tamara Gurney, President and CEO of Mission Valley Bank, and I invite you to experience the Mission Valley Bank difference, where your success is our mission. We want to be your most valued bank.
Mission Valley Bank has been named Most Trusted Advisor Business Banker by the San Fernando Valley Business Journal 5 years in a row and received the Business Leadership Award by the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce, Valley Industry Association, and SCV Economic Development Corporation. Visit them at their Center Point branch location or at missionvalleybank.com. Member FDIC.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Our trash has got to go somewhere, and Chiquita Canyon Landfill is helping make the Santa Clarita Valley a little greener. Our local landfill creates clean energy from our waste disposal to power 10,000 homes each year. With their 9.2 megawatt clean energy facility harnessing the landfill's methane gas, you can feel good that the waste from your home in the SCV is helping create a clean energy source. Chiquita Canyon Landfill is our partner in sustainable living.
Chiquita Canyon is helping lead the way to a greener future.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220. And our guest now is Karina Romero, and she's the owner of Eco Green Clean SCV. How did you get such a long name?
It actually got rebranded by Jerry. It was, we both did it together, but it was actually called Eco Bella Green Clean, and then we added the SCV and took away the Bella, little part of the rebranding. But
what was the Bella?
The Bella was just how it started as far as a high-end service on the west side in Beverly Hills. I thought the Bella sounded fancy, and it just rolled off the tongue, and it just seemed to work. So, but for our purposes here, for the rebranding and relaunching, we thought we would take the Bella out and make it a little more concise. But yeah, it's still a little bit of a long name. Eco Green. We wanted everybody to know what Eco Green, environmentally friendly, was a part of it. And then SCV needed to be in there because I'm relaunching an SCV to try to accommodate the community here. So
Eco Green Clean SCV.
Had to put the clean in there so everybody knows what we're doing.
But it's self-explanatory, and I think it's so important for our listeners to understand that, most of us now feel in some way or another our environment has played not just a positive role in our lives, but sometimes a negative role, and we end up having occasionally health problems related to our surroundings.
Absolutely.
And from skin rashes to breathing problems to headaches, you name it. And, you just don't want to have, the environment and us introducing something that we want to do one thing and then we end up creating a problem and another thing where our body is reacting in a negative way to the tools that we need to get things clean. So it's great to hear that, this is eco-friendly and, not only helps the environment, but is aware of potential problems related to those seniors who might be exposed to the chemicals that aren't really man-made chemicals, or more natural chemicals.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. And it's ironic that when we think of cleaning our spaces, we think we're detoxifying and getting all those airborne everything out of the air, and really what we're doing is we're adding chemicals and all these additives, toxins that can cause asthma and all these things. While we're trying to clean, we're actually putting toxins into our environment. So, the correlation is pretty strong now. People are realizing that with the eco-friendly and non-toxic cleaners, it's just a more healthy way to live. And I feel like we owe it to ourselves, for our own health purposes, and also to the environment. Not have such a large environmental impact on the planet and in general for all purposes. I think it's the healthier way to go.
So let's just go ahead.
Where do you find your cleaning products?
They are found by doing lots of research. So we've done lots of research. And as I've said previously, some of mine are homemade. So I have a little bit of a range of clients that are really, really into zero chemicals, really homemade, as natural based as they come. And then there's like a higher range that, they're not too particular. They know they don't want toxic chemicals in their home. So they're not doing the research. They're not, interrogating me about what is going into their home. So there's a different range there. But for the very specific clients that really, really want me to go super deep on the environmental green And I make my own, and I use lots of essential oils, and that's a super natural base. On the other end of the scale, I use everything that's the most highly rated in the scale of EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group. So I do the research, I find the highest rated products in the market, and then I order them. So I bring them into my arsenal of stuff to use. So I have, again, the really super natural, hippie, homemade, you know, your grandma used to use with the old thieves oil and essential oils that some clients actually ask for. And then I just have the most natural based on the other end that are available in the market.
Now sometimes the old products, you know, they may have been effective, but they obviously were too harsh, not only on, you know, in terms of cleaning rugs and, you know, the carpeting and the sofas and things like that, but do the products do as good of a job, or at least come close, when they are environmentally friendly?
Absolutely, yeah. There is that stigma that they don't clean as well, but when you get deeply in there with any kinds of vinegar, baking soda, anything like that, or just basically the most natural products in the market that I was speaking of, the highly rated ones, they definitely have been improving over the years on that level, the formulations, and they get really, really deep with the cleaning, and there's nothing that can compare to a little vinegar and baking soda and essential oil as well to just go as deep as possible. People might think not so much when they're coming home and they're smelling, you know, Lysol and Windex and all those toxic smells. It gives you this impression that it's very clean, but really it could be also masking just with that strong ammonia and odor as well. So you don't want to be inhaling that. It's not good for us on any level.
So when someone says, hey, we need a cleanup for mom's place or their own place, how do you go about evaluating them? Do you know, go in and survey the, you know, what needs to be done and what can be done and what can't be done?
We do.
You know, the approach to that, how do you make that assessment?
We do. We have a couple different ways that we assess the home. Some people like to do it via email and online, and they're just very digitally based. And I have a little survey that goes out that asks the square footage, if they have any pets, if they have any glass doors on the shower. And then now that we're more localized, I have a lot of clients that I can just swing by their place and do an assessment that way. I look at the square footage, I look at the condition of the home, see exactly what their requirements are, what they're trying to accomplish for the cleaning, and I can do an assessment like that and then give them quotes that way. So there's two ways. We can do them online through a little mini survey, or if they're more comfortable with me coming into their space and assessing, we can do a quote that way.
So there are just some things that you buy it and it's new and it looks new, smells new, but then you try to clean them out. You just really can't clean them well enough to get them back to new, no matter what. I mean, are there expectations that everything's going to be spick and span and back to new and all that stuff? Or, you know, there's a reality there too, like, and you present that to those who are, you know, looking at the services. You know, is there a reality check for them sometimes that, you know, we'll get this clean and it'll be sanitary and nice and sterile, whatever, but it's not going to be brand new.
Right, absolutely. That's a really good question because, again, there's such a huge range of living situations and the way people live. So on the west side, I would go into some of these houses that are like mansions, and they were literally immaculate. So you're pretty much just, these are people that are extremely neurotic about their cleaning and their lifestyle. So I'll go in, and it's very easy to keep a detailed finish on everything in that level. And then I have other people that, you know, just are really comfortable in their homes, just kind of sprawled out with their belongings everywhere. They live a more just lifestyle of belongings and just, you know, I could even say a little clutter in some homes. And, you know, the basic way that we would assess that is we just really like to survey what the client's expectations are. And we really guarantee all our cleanings. So I'll stay extra time if need be at times. And just according to their living standards, and I really just need to gauge what their expectation is. And then sometimes there's a little bit of a reality check, like, you know, I know you would like it to look immaculate, but there's a few deep cleanings that need to happen here. So it's all communication based. But generally, if the space is pretty clean and they want to get into a very deep, thorough deep cleaning detail process, then we'll go into more hours. It's called a deep clean. It's usually a minimum of 5 hours. Then we go in with, the organic degreasers, stainless steel brushes, get tarnish off the faucets. That's like another level of cleaning. So everybody has a different expectation for their home. And we pretty much just can accommodate whatever your lifestyle is and whatever your surroundings look like, and hopefully, get the feedback from you and Miss Cochran and Barbara here. Like, I try to get feedback from her and just see what she's been going through a lot of changes in her home too. I like to see what her level of comfortability is and what her expectations are as well. And then we just try to accommodate and, really open line of communication and feedback. And usually it's good. If they had a higher expectation, we can work around that. We can come back in and do a couple hours at no cost too.
Now, are you working mainly in the Santa Clarita Valley, or?
Well, I am, now that we just relaunched and expanded. I think actually on one of your shows a couple months ago, we were just relaunching. So I was again in the Los Feliz, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills area. And that's where all my clientele base started. And, I'm living in Santa Clarita. I love the community, and there's a niche and a need for it here. So we just started expanding a couple months ago, and it's growing pretty rapidly. So we're happy.
Now, you're still in the Los Feliz area, though?
I do. I am not working there myself anymore, but we definitely have all our client base out there.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So
So we have our eco cleaners that go out there and tend
as
to
part of your company.
Absolutely.
I see.
Yes.
And
so we're expanding.
have you employed women from this local area?
I have employed 3 women in the last month in this local area. So,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's nice to be able to grow any type of business or employ anyone or support women in business or anyone really in business on any level makes me very happy as well. So,
yeah, that's great that you are using not only clients here, but also people who are working for you who also live here.
Absolutely.
They're familiar with the area.
Exactly. So then everyone gets to benefit. I mean, how lovely is it to be able to employ as well as attain clients? I love the whole aspect of that dynamic of the business as well. So that's why I was happy to rebrand and relaunch and be more.
So do you send out 2 at a time on occasion?
I
or
do.
Just one
I do
at a
on
time?
occasion. If we have a really large square footage, or someone wants to go really thorough with a good 5-hour deep clean, it is a little bit of an additional cost for a second eco cleaner. But we have the pricing that we go through with the clients, and if that's within their budget, we'll send out 2. Then they get a bigger area. They can get in deeper, just for a little bit of additional cost.
What is the hardest thing to clean?
The hardest thing to clean.
Especially related to seniors. I mean, it's not Fluffy the dog, right? I mean, what when you've gone into homes wherever you've been, have you found something that just is not going to be cleaned?
I have, as far as what you were saying before with their expectations and what you're asking me now, I think one of the most challenging things to clean was probably the inside of an oven and stove. So some people really were like, so they want to go to a thorough, detailed cleaning. Where they're like, let's do the inside of the fridge and the inside of the stoves. And that's when we have to get a little realistic and let them know, okay, this will be a deep cleaning. It will be, at least 4 to 5 hours. Because again, we're not using toxic oven off or easy off and all those really toxic. Those things will stink up the whole house and are really asthmatic. And so we're not using that. So I'm using natural degreasers and a lot of elbow grease and love. So it's going to take a while. But, that is the one thing that's just a little more challenging with a natural product would be the degreasing of the inside of the oven. So that's quite a little project.
Because those ovens can get really, really, really greasy.
They do.
And
some
you
people
don't realize it.
Right, exactly. It sneaks up on you. And then before you know it, it's been like 10 years and you've never cleaned the inside of your oven. And you want someone to come clean it in an hour. It doesn't quite work that way. But,
no, it doesn't.
But,
and then you use the chemicals that they have out there, and it spreads throughout the house, and
stinky
Fluffy
and
the dog is running outside saying, "I can't take this
exactly."
anymore.
Fluffy the dog's running away for dear life from the easy off. Yes, so that would be the one thing.
But it must be really rewarding, though, to come into a house and see how it is before and then after, and certainly to take a picture of how it looks before, one should become aware that here is after. And
Absolutely.
and it's much safer for them, the after part, too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I do have some of that documented. I think I'm going to put some on the website. So again, it's different for every living situation. Some people live a little bit more comfortably with their things surrounding them, and they don't want too much moved around. So you'll clean thoroughly, but your work, they'll notice the cleanliness, but your work might not show as much as it would if you go into a house where there can be a lot less items and you're just really immaculating it. Then when you have a little bit of clutter and you clean, you can do the before and after. It really shows because you're moving a lot of things around. It's just different in every home. But I do have some really amazing before and after. For instance, last month I had someone, she hired myself and another eco cleaner to just come in and do her kitchen, and she hadn't been cooking at all in there, and it was just really empty, but not a lot of clutter, but covered in grease and everything. I mean, it changed colors. Every part of the kitchen changed colors. It was like a gray, dingy hole when we went in. I'm sorry to say if you're listening. And it looked like hospital status. So I'm definitely going to use the before and after for that. It's shocking. So it just depends on what your furniture's like, the different environment, how it's going to show your cleaning.
You're not going to organize their home. I mean, if there are a bunch of magazines and books and things spread all over, I mean, you might stack them up a little bit, but
again, totally personal. Some people do not want their things moved around and they just want dusted around. So we figured that out. But I have done. I'm not as much into the organizational
they
stuff
can get
anymore.
What's her name, Marie?
Yeah, they can get her.
Kondo?
We actually have offered the services. I have helped, and particularly in the senior community, I have helped micro-organize tons of stuff. There's a few clients that I had that are like, stuff is everywhere, just please stack it up and sort it and stick it in drawers. I was like, are you going to be able to find it? But they love it. They come home, it's, everything's, there's...
force them to take a look at their living situation.
So I do a lot of stacking and organizing.
The two worst places to clean are underneath the refrigerator and underneath the stove.
This is true.
I got underneath my stove because I had spilled something on the floor and it went slightly under the stove, and I got a stick, a measuring stick, and I put wet paper towels on it.
Oh, that's brilliant! Yeah.
And I went inside like this. Oh, the stuff that came out.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes, you wouldn't believe the things that collect under the stove.
And I finally bought some plastic covers that cover between the...
I saw that. That was brilliant.
Yes.
I need to get some of those.
Boy, does it make a difference, because things aren't spilling down
in between the stove and the counter.
Yes.
Yeah, that was brilliant when I saw that.
I thought,
I'm going to have to ask you where you found those. That was
telling
great.
you. I think I got them through Publishers Clearinghouse.
Oh, there you go. Awesome.
That's where I found them. But
great.
They're great.
That was brilliant. That was
yes,
good.
I thought
when
so
I saw those, I thought that's great. Yeah, all the food gets in there. So yeah.
But we're not going to come over to your place, Barbara, and do the white glove treatment.
Yeah, we're not.
Say, hey, Barbara, under your refrigerator, it's pretty dirty under here. Get to it.
And again, if we're going to
won't do that to
we
you.
won't. If we're going to go under the stove and under the fridge again, we're going to have to go into the deep cleaning. So
that's right. And we need to take a break, don't we? Yes, I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch. Full menu and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Aloha, friends! Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
Southern California Edison wants to help you and your family stay safe around electricity. Whether you're on the job or in the yard, coming into contact with a power line can hurt you. Always keep yourself and any tools or objects at least 10 feet away from power lines. Never approach or touch any downed wire or any person or object in contact with it. Call 911. Go to on.sce.com/stay safe for more safety tips. Stay aware, stay safe.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome to the Senior Hour. The following is paid programming and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS. We're talking with Karina Romeo, who is with Eco Green Clean SCV. And, one of the things, I do is house calls. I see patients and I get to go see the clutter and the dust and the dirt sometimes. Right. And, I know the expectation sometimes is pretty high when people think they can clean up what they've got. But I just don't think it's that easy. I see sometimes chores in people's homes where I really wouldn't want to go in and clean up their house.
Right.
So how do you do that? How do you stay mentally intact when you walk into a place and go, oh my goodness, I'm not sure about this place?
Yeah, well, I just try to absolutely be transparent and honest and keep an open line of communication. But you're right, and I have to say, particularly with the senior community, that is the case. They're really accustomed to the way they're living, and their expectation might be a little higher. They may not think their environment needs as much help as it does, or that it could use as much time. So I just try to have an open line of communication, and I do have to say that with the senior community, I've gone a little above and beyond. I mean, it's more a job from the heart where I want to help them. I see that they could use some help. I try to clean their environment up as best that I can, help them tidy if that's what, is of interest to them. Like I said, some people would like me to tidy and stack all their stuff. Others don't want me to touch it at all. So it's all about an open line of communication. But, especially with the seniors, it just kind of comes from the heart. I just am very thrilled to be able to help them and make a difference in their life. And a lot of times they don't really anticipate what a big difference it'll make, so they're so happy when it's done. If it takes a couple more hours, again, I have gone over, not to promote this, but I have gone over at no cost before, to try to help people out. So
but their environment is so important, especially for our seniors, because in their homes, the most common place for a senior to end up in the hospital is in their home,
right?
And for them to clean up that environment is important.
Absolutely.
And those who are listening, and they know that their loved one is living a life right now which isn't it's okay, but it's 20 years of dust and dirt and everything else, and their birthday is coming up or a holiday is coming up, or you just want to do a good deed. Maybe it could be a good present for them to maybe not go out and get Maria Kondo and get things straightened up, but it could be a really nice present for those who are trying to survive at their home in a safe manner and environmentally clean, though, so that they're able to take care of themselves in a good way. So if people want to, Karina, get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Oh, you can just go right over to our website, which is ecogreencleanscv.com. Again, ecogreencleanscv.com, or you can just give us a call, 661-993-9136. And I believe there's a few links also to the business on the KHTS Facebook page and website, so you can find me that way. So there's a few ways to find me. And I do love that idea about the gifting. I've had a couple people gift a cleaning before to their loved ones, and it's a hit for sure.
Oh,
and I know some people are intimidated. It's kind of daunting to get your first cleaning, and they don't really know how it'll go, and they procrastinate, and then it doesn't happen. But I'm here to suggest that we get started and try to get you in ship shape. And once we get a cleaning going, most people see how valuable it is. And
the best part, as I said right in the beginning, Karina, it's eco-friendly.
It's eco-friendly,
and
absolutely.
that's the important part. And hopefully our listeners and their relatives take it to heart that by improving our environment, we live better and life will be better, and you'll end up not being in a hospital setting. So we appreciate that. Once again, it's ecogreencleanscv.com at 661-993-9136.
Correct. Thank
Karina,
you so
thanks
much.
for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I hope to hear from some of you soon. Thank you.
We are sponsored by Advanced Audiology and Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and advance your quality of life.
Why do people from all over Santa Clarita come to our spa in Canyon Country? Simple. They want the highest quality services at prices that everyone can afford. This is Rosemary from Beyond Harmony Med Spa. Read our reviews and know why we won the Ultimate Beauty Awards 2 years in a row by the readers of Elite magazine. Come and see how close we really are and experience the level of excellence that our clients have loved for the past